everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody's doing great today on this lovely Monday. So last Thursday, December the 17th, I did finally attend the purchase workshop. And it was really good. It was really informative. It was 2 hours long, but it was just like so much information. It went by so fast. But before I get into that, I do need to make some corrections. So correction number one, I have been referring to the guy that I was working with prior to me getting qualified as my mortgage counselor, and he is not. He is a housing counselor. So I was using the wrong terminology. So pretty much before you get qualified, the person that you're working with when you're submitting all that documentation to see if you qualify for this program, that is a housing counselor or an HC. Once you get qualified, then you are assigned a mortgage counselor, which I have been assigned one at this point, and I haven't actually talked to him yet, but I'll get into that in a second. That was number one. Number two is that I think I stated this in, I want to say it was update number 3 or maybe update number 4. I don't remember. But the housing counselor I had before the last one had told me that once you get qualified, you only have 30 days to be under contract when you find a house. Wrong. So in this particular seminar, they did touch on that, and it's actually 6 months that you have to be under contract before you would have to go through the requalification all over again. So I just wanted to clear that up real quick because I just wanted to right my wrong. So that's my bad. So that's been corrected now. So back to the workshop itself. I did take some notes. So if you see me looking this way, I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything. So the people that we had, it was a few women who were facilitating the whole thing. And from what I gather, they do these by specific state. So the reason I say that is because the people who were attending were only people who were purchasing in Texas. So me from Houston, there was someone from Austin, and there was several other people from the Dallas-Fort Worth area who were in this particular workshop. And then the women who were facilitating it were, one of them was a realtor, one of them was a mortgage counselor, and I think one of them was a housing counselor, who were both in Dallas. So from what they explained, the workshops in particular are only done on Thursdays. So if for some reason you miss the first opportunity from when you get qualified, you would have to wait until the following Thursday to do it again, because I believe I mentioned this in the last video, but you do have to attend the purchase workshop before you can start actually looking for a house, because it's a requirement, because you won't get your qualification or accessibility letters until you complete that. Now, of course, what is a qualification form? What is an accessibility letter? So what that is, one, the qualification form itself is just a general letter. I have mine sitting over here, but it has my information on it, so I can't show you. So it's basically a general letter that states that you have been approved by Naca's underwriting department. It's literally like 3 paragraphs that says that, this person has been qualified. There's that. The accessibility form is where the real, I keep saying accessibility, I'm so sorry. It's affordability form. It's called an affordability form. I'm sorry. So the affordability form, that's where the real meat and potatoes are. So the affordability form is going to tell you your mortgage counselor's name. It's going to have your maximum mortgage amount. It's going to tell you your priority status, meaning if you're priority or non-priority. It's going to have information about the interest rate buy down, and then housing search reminders. Mine was about 3 pages long. And they did confirm that I am a priority member, so I can look wherever. As far as Houston is concerned, I don't have any restrictions on that. I just of course have to stay in my particular area. Now, the facilitators do recommend that you download the presentation for the purchase workshop. I did look at it, and I just want to note that the presentation that I just saw on Thursday versus what they have on that website are totally different. It looks like it's the same information that we went over, but the slide layouts were different. It was like different color schemes and everything. It looks like that one was a bit lengthier than what we actually went through. So I just want to point that out. Anyone who does take a peek at it, if you either gone through that process or if you're about to go through the qualification process, don't be alarmed, because it's a complete 180 difference from what I saw. But it is online, and they also recommend that you print out this bad boy right here. It is the Naca purchase workbook. So this right here has a lot of great information about how everything is pretty much going to go with your housing search. It has more information about the buy down. It tells you about property eligibility, how they calculate the mortgage, a real estate agent, whether you're gonna go with someone who is in-house or out-house, the type of real estate agents, the contract requirements, prepping for your house search, the type of properties that you can buy, construction types. Let me see what else is in here. And this right here, something that they stressed a lot. This right here is the property evaluation form. They recommended that you print out several of these and take it to each home that you tour or go through to kind of keep track of these things, because we're only human. We're not going to remember every little thing about each house that we see. And if you're someone who has to view like several houses, it can be kind of hard to keep up with the good and the bad about that particular home. So I do want to note that this form that they're talking about, there's not a link to it on the website. It is specifically in this handbook. And it also has a property search diary where you can like keep track of the address, the date you've used, the rating you're given, and any comments you have about it, which I thought that was cool for them to add. And lastly, it has in here the property condition requirements, because of course it has to be up to par in order for you to, purchase it and be able to live in it. And at the very end, it has the timeline for submitting your, the timeline from getting a contract to closing through the bank. So I thought that was cool, which I went ahead and printed this out. I haven't read the entire thing yet. It's just been like super busy, but I'm definitely going to read it. It has real good information on there. Also, now that I'm qualified, right? My biggest question, as we know, has been now what? They did mention in the workshop that even though you are now qualified, you still have to maintain your qualification. And what I mean by that is you still have to do things like updating your bank statements and all that stuff. You still have to keep saving your reserves and stuff. You cannot open any new lines of credit. You cannot be behind on any payments. So basically still treat it as you're trying to get qualified, because if for some reason there's a slip up, that's going to be a problem for you. You cannot, well, it's not that you can't, but they don't recommend starting a new job during this time frame either, because you got qualified based on whatever your employment was looking like at that time. And if you change it, that of course is going to cause a delay for you as well. Now, accessing the qualification letter and the affordability form, as I mentioned, you do have to do the workshop before you can get that. The ladies did state that it takes a couple days to load to your account, because you'll actually get this from your web file. It's not something that's emailed to you. You do actually have to get it from your web file. And mine was on my account the next day, actually. They did state to just email member services if for some reason it's not provided by the deadline that they give you at the end of the workshop. But I didn't have that problem. I got mine with no issue. And I saved copies to my computer and I printed them out. And I also put a copy in my email, because you never know when you're going through this process when you're going to need information, and you may not always be near your laptop, or maybe you have your laptop but you don't have your phone. So like, I even go so far as to having a flash drive with all this information on it, because it's like, you never know when someone's going to request something from you. And I would just put it out there that it is the smart thing to do, to have this information in multiple places, because you never know when you have to give it. And of course, you always want to be ahead of the game. So just a little tip. So let me see. So I went over that. Grants. They did also go over grants, since I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, because I didn't really know too much about it, and they didn't say a lot about it. But basically, if you're somewhere that offers grants for like first-time home buyers, they are okay with that at Naca. It's just, you do have to get them approved, and you do have to either contact grants@naca.com or services@naca.com to get a grant approved, if you're trying to use that in conjunction with your purchase. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. They went over a whole lot. It's just nothing that I can explain to you directly, because it would be better coming from them. I just wanted you guys to know that I've done it, and now I'm in the next step, which is working with the realtor. Now, something to note about that, it may be different for your area. So in Houston, there's only 4 Naca realtors and 2 mortgage counselors, which I thought that was a little strange. Houston's been growing a lot these last few years, so I expected there to be more, but I was a little surprised. And one of the realtors reached out to me. I don't know if that's how that always works, but she was actually the one that I spoke to last week, who told me about the purchase workshop, and that I had to attend it before I could actually start looking. Now, of the 4, I talked to one of them, the first one. I've talked to her several times in the last few days. One of them, she has not gotten back to me, and the other 2, they're like on vacation for the next several days. So I'm low-key probably ruling them out, because I'm ready to get started on this right now. I haven't actually gone with anyone just yet. I'm trying to give everyone at least to the end of the week before I make a final decision. Now, keep in mind, once you pick a realtor, whether you do in-house or out-house, you don't have to stick with that person. So if for some reason I go with this woman and I don't like her, and I decide that I do want to go with someone else, that's totally fine. Because I want someone who is going to have my best interest at heart, who is going to work with me diligently when I need them to. I'm not trying to be chasing you down. And I thought that was great that she reached out to me first, and she also reached out to me again. When was that? Friday? Yeah, Friday she reached out to me again, and I don't know if it was a questionnaire that they have to ask, but she was basically taking initiative is what I'm getting at here. And I appreciated that she did that, because so far, like through this process, no one has done that. I've been the one making all the moves, so I thought that was cool. So she already has more brownie points than the other 3. But like I said, I haven't quite decided yet. But as a little test run, I sent her some houses a little while ago. I don't expect her to get back to me today, only because it's later in the evening now. She may not even be working, but just kind of see what she does with that, because I want to see how she's going to handle it. Is she going to be like, okay, well, make some suggestions, or hey, look, I found these as well. Because the thing about the looking for houses online, and something she actually mentioned to me the first time we spoke, is it's not always accurate, whether it's the price, whether it's the photos that are up, whether it's pending contract or not. They're not always the best. So it's like actual realtors get the tea on that specifically. So she did mention, especially Zillow, that website is usually not always up to date, and she did recommend that I go to har.com. But I'm gonna say right now, I do not like the website. I don't know what it is so difficult about it. Like, I was trying to do it on my phone, and it was just like, not user friendly, and like even when I use it on my laptop, I don't really like it. So if y'all know of any other websites besides Zillow, besides Hard, that you can use to look for houses, please drop them down in the comments so I could take a look, because it was her recommendation, but I'm just not feeling it. And whenever I talk to her again, I'll see if she has another recommendation. But that's just that on that. So right now, as far as my status, I'm qualified and I am in the process of choosing a realtor. And once I do that, I can start looking at houses. So I found some, and like I said, I did send them to her. But I haven't actually viewed any houses yet. I haven't physically gone to view a house just yet. I'm trying. I would like to start doing that after the holiday, because even though like we're still in the pandemic, it's still sort of looking for it. Even though we're still in the pandemic, it's still like business as usual. Like things are closed, stuff is not being offered pretty much this week because of that. But what I don't want to do is have to wait until the new year to start, because that's just 2 weeks of wasted time, in my opinion, when I've been in this process for what, 7-8 months now. I've waited enough. So that's just my spiel about that. Thank you again for watching. I hopefully will see you guys in a couple of days when I have an update on what I'm gonna do with this realtor, and we can start looking at some houses. So I'm going to try, and I say try because I've never done it before, to link the purchase workbook and the actual presentation. Yeah, I'm gonna try to link those two, because I always put Naca's website on there, but I think it'll be better if I actually try to, put that on there. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.